welcome back. It's been a while. Alright, so today I am going to talk about this internal neediness for love. If you are someone who went through trauma or traumatic experiences in your childhood, you've experienced neglect, one of your parents or both of your parents were alcoholics, there is a really high chance that you might have developed something what is called complex PTSD. Maybe you already know about this or maybe not, but go and check out one of my videos where I actually explain what are the symptoms of complex PTSD. Now, just to be clear that not all of us who went through traumas are affected the same way. I thought it would be a good idea to actually talk about this internal neediness. It's like a craving for love, and some of us might be feeling it even more, especially those who are actually going through this up and downs in relationships. They don't seem to work out, and we know that we went through all those traumatic events in the past and they affected us. We need to also look into the past a little bit to understand why the things are looking the way they do. Whatever we were seeing at home, whatever love we received at home, the way we were looked after, it is some sort of kind of imprint on our brains, this prototype that we now go and kind of subconsciously look for relationships based on this imprint on our brains. So now, what does that mean, right? If we were not looked after the way we were supposed to be looked after, when our emotional needs were not fulfilled, then there are these wounds created inside of us that are still there. Even this might be happening 10, 20 years after you moved out from home, but they are still there inside of us. So that's why the things are the way they are, right? Like I said, depends on the personalities as well, depends on the person as well. My sister came up from it, being in a loving relationship, while I came up from it with a complex PTSD and all sorts of problems in relationships. For example, let's take a little girl, and dad is coming home from work. Let's say he's sitting on the couch and watching television, so he's there but he's not there, right? She's coming, she's calling for attention because she wants to receive love from her dad, but he's completely checked out. So of course she is doing all sorts of things to get his attention, but again, he's not seeing her. And if those situations are repeating, then what's gonna happen to this little girl? Well, she's going to grow up and she's going to go for the similar kind of people, right? Where she will be just doing things, trying to please them, but somehow it's not going to work, even to an extent that she's basically going to hurt internally. Because this is how this prototype of a relationship was given to her when she was a child, right? So this was, with her eyes, she's saying, okay, this is how loving relationship looks like. And if you think about why she's not going for, someone who is going to be emotionally available, someone who is going to actually give her this right love, right? Treat her with respect, see her in a sense. It's because somehow subconsciously she doesn't feel it like, okay, this is supposed to be a relationship, this is the right relationship. No, she doesn't understand it, right? Subconsciously she is going for something what is familiar, because that's how internally she feels, oh yes, this is the right guy for me. So this is where the first problem is, right? Then Then let's look into families where, let's say, one or both parents are alcoholics. So something what I went through, my dad was aggressive alcoholic. So of course it's uncertainty, chaos all the time. You don't know what's going to happen, right? People going to scream, people going to be ugly for each other, and so on and so on. So you live in this kind of uncertainty all the time. And then what's happening later on, that's what's happening, right? You are looking for those relationships where there is chaos, where you don't know what's going to happen. You are kind of drawn to those relationships, and well, it turns to be one big drama, right? That's it. And I know for myself that I was needing this adrenaline, kind of like when I was in relationships. I very often was provoking situations to have arguments, because I was feeling that, you know, I am leaving then, right? And then let's take another example of parent who maybe is traveling for work, working a lot, or even situation which I actually picked up with my sister, where I believe that my sister got more attention because she was this girl who was like a boy, just jumping, running around, screaming all the time, and I was the quiet, good girl, right? So I didn't need that much attention. But what happened then, what my parents didn't realize, was that I viewed this with eyes of a child as, I'm not lovable, I'm not enough, you know, she is better than me, and so on and so on and so on, right? So in a sense, kind of neglect, let's say, because this is some my emotional needs were not fulfilled, because I felt like my spotlight was taken away but by my sister, because everyone was always looking at her and commenting what she was doing, and I was just left all alone, right? So you can already see what's happening here. And what is going to happen then when you grow up, you are going to look for people who are not available, emotionally not available, married, people who are not really interested in you. Or you're going to go for situations where you kind of, you know, when things are going to get a bit seriously, you're gonna run, because it's getting too serious, right? We don't understand that, what's going on here. So this kind of situation. So I kind of went through the second and third example I shuffled between in my adulthood. So what can we do to change it? So first we need to understand that whatever is happening in our lives today, it's imprinted on our subconscious, right? This is in our subconscious mind. This is how we've created in our subconscious this prototype of how the relationship is supposed to look like, right? What is the loving relationship, based on the way we were treated by our parents, based on the situation at home, right? How our parents were treating themselves, basically. So we need to understand that this is subconscious, in subconscious mind. And it is somehow like an addiction kind of thing, because we keep craving, right? More needy we are, more neediness we have for love, more we are just catching whoever comes to equation. So there is this neediness. It feels like it's good to say it feels like an addiction, because then it gives you perspective, right? That we are being drawn to the drug. We are being drawn to the drug, but the trick is that you need to break it at some point, right? To break the pull. So that's the thing. And how we can do it? First of all, working with psychologists, because psychologist is going to give you the tools, guide you how to do it. Hypnotherapy, it's a really great tool as well, because you are going in hypnosis directly in your subconscious. So you are looking for those specific moments where you created all sorts of beliefs and those patterns, right, when it started. And then you can reframe it and transform it and start rewiring the neurons to start behaving differently than to what you did in the past. But also what is important, you can also do it yourself, right? Without the hypnotherapy, without the psychologist visits, where, you know, you will spend quite a lot of time, possibly, because those therapies take time. It takes a couple of months, sometimes even longer to go through the therapy. But if you recognize the patterns, you need to, all of it starts with recognizing the patterns and saying enough to this. Because that's when you're going to make a decision. Okay, if this guy who is emotionally not available comes to equation, am I going to continue to do it and keep wasting my time and my energy, or am I going to say no to it, right? So this is how you can kind of stop yourself. And yes, you're going to feel the pull again, because it's again this drug going to kick in. You want to go for it. The pull is very strong, but you need to wait through this. And how you can do it? It's your own self-discipline. That's the only way you can do it. You need to stop yourself, and you need to actually recognize. More often you do it, more often you kind of, I love that I smell nice now, the players, you know. I can just smell them when they come. I know the guy is a player, you know. So that's the thing. You need to recognize it, and then you need to consciously say no to it and wait through until the pull actually, you know, weakens and it's fine. So completely no contact with that person, right? And then we also need to look into our self-love, right? If we don't have this good relationship with others, it is messed up because of our past. How the relationship of us looks with ourselves? Well, you know, it comes into the self-love bucket, I would say. And actually my journey with hypnotherapy and with my healing, with my self-development started when someone actually said to me, you know, you're not going to love anyone around you until you start loving yourself first. And you know, and it doesn't come with the flip of the button. Okay, so tomorrow I am loving myself first. No, but actually it opened my eyes that really I didn't have any respect for myself. I didn't look after myself, I didn't care after myself, and if I did, I wouldn't go for those people who were not available for me. I wouldn't go for people who were just, you know, not interested in me for whatever reason. We don't have boundaries. We need to learn boundaries. We need to learn to be kind for ourselves, and we need to respect ourselves in a sense that, you know, if there is a need to say no to someone, you're going to do it, because when you don't feel it, you're not going to do it, rather than doing it and then beat yourself up that you actually, you know, gave someone what they wanted without actually having respect to yourself. And the self-love, self-worth, when you work on this, on your self-esteem as well, because I think all of it is kind of connected, and is after having this kind of childhood, your self-love and self-esteem going to be very, very low, then you need to kind of rebuild it, and more work you are doing on yourself, more self-respect you're going to have for yourself. And you know, someone who is just messaging you at 10 o'clock, I want to see you now. A while back, when I didn't do work on myself, I would probably put my clothes on, get ready and go. While now I'm like, you know, sorry, but it's too late for me. You know, I respect myself. You should have asked a couple of days ago, make an appointment, you know, decide, okay, when we gonna go, not like now, you know. So it doesn't work that way, and it comes from work that I did on myself, and then I built the self-respect for myself. And I get up, I try to dress up, look good. Even if I don't go out, I still want to feel good, and that's what I do for myself. So I would advise that you start doing it as well. And in the whole process, this whole neediness inside of you, because of course this neediness is causing us to grab just anyone who is there, because we just want to love, doesn't matter who this person is. No, more work you are doing on yourself, more conscious you are about who you're going to date, more this actually neediness disappears from inside of you. And I used to feel it on my chest, like it was really strong feeling, and now it's gone, because it doesn't mean that when this neediness is gone that suddenly you're not going to have any relationships, you know. No, it doesn't mean that. You can still want to be with someone, but you choose who you want to be with because the way they are for you, and the way you are feeling around them, not just because you are needy and you want to be in love with someone, whatever, and you are just wasting time here. All right, I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm adding link to my website below, and I see you next time. Big kisses.